The Gorosei, or the Five Older Planets, are the highest authority of the One Piece world. As far as the general population knows at least, they wield this authority with an iron fist, and when the world starts getting out of hand, it may be time for them to start over from scratch. This reset is known as the Great Cleansing. The original Great Cleansing. While it hasn't been revealed just yet when the original Great Cleansing occurred, I think we can infer that it happened sometime during the Void Century. Recently, it was revealed that Imu, who the Gorosei serve, has been around for a very long time, and every time we see a flashback of them, they haven't aged a day. The exact nature of their ability to not age is still a mystery. However, it's possible that they may have been around since the Void Century, and may not even be human. Now, I don't necessarily believe that these Gorosei members have remained the same all the way since the Void Century, due to the way that they speak about the world government changing the name of the Nika fruit. But maybe this is a role where people get switched out every few hundred years or so, or potentially there's a reincarnation process. I really don't know. The One Piece world is currently in turmoil, as there are several countries rebelling against the world government, to where the elders are suggesting a new cleansing may be necessary. They also refer to this as extinguishing a light. There are many races of people that are endangered or extinct at this point that were prevalent at one point, such as the Buccaneers, the Lunarians, and the Three-Eye Tribe. It's very likely that many of these lights were extinguished during the Void Century and the Last Great Cleansing. One aspect I'm sure will play a role in the Last Great Cleansing is the Ship of Promise, Noah, that we see in the Fishman Island arc. The Fishmen have been waiting for a specific day when this ship will come back into play. All we know about this ship is that it was meant to be used during the Void Century and involved the mermaid princess of that time and Joy Boy, and potentially the fishmen coming to the surface. But if the Last Great Cleansing involved several islands disappearing and the sea level rising, a giant ship like this may be used similarly to the ship it's based off of, Noah's Ark. In the story of Noah's Ark, there is a great flood, and Noah uses this ship to preserve 2 of every animal so that the world can be repopulated. I don't think the Noah was to be used this exact way, but I think we will at least see a reference to this when we learn the truth of the Last Great Cleansing. Why there hasn't been one since? There are a few reasons why there hasn't been a Great Cleansing in at least the last 800 years. For one, it's very likely that the government's superweapon is likely the ancient weapon Uranus. Dragon questions if the government had such a weapon, why haven't they used it before? And the reason is very simple. This weapon needs a very special fuel that only Dr. Vegapunk has been able to replicate, called the Mother Flame. In his scientific studies, he's been trying to create the power of the Eternal Flame, that is a self-sufficient energy source from the Void Century. I believe that this energy will also be linked to the sun god Nika and the ancient kingdom's ability to have high technological advancements, as we see that when Luffy goes into Gear 5 against Kizaru, the Iron Giant is activated on Egghead. The other reason this weapon hasn't just been spammed by the government is because of the consequences of using it. When the Mother Flame is used on the island of Lulusia, the aftermath has an effect on the environment of all the seas around the world, and this may be the original cause for the Grand Line having such crazy weather patterns. We see that a giant hole in the ocean is created resembling the hole at Enies Lobby. It's possible that the Enies Lobby hole was created in a similar way, and there may be others. This hole may also be a reference to the real-life blue holes that exist in our oceans. Blue holes in the real world are large marine caverns that typically appear in a sea bank and can sometimes have fresh water. They tend to lead deep below sea level and can lead to underground caves for divers. In this same arc, we see an actual reference to this when Garp uses an ability called Blue Hole on Kuzan in their fight in Hachinosu. But this rise in sea level may be what actually causes the world to be quote-unquote cleansed. The next Great Cleansing. Will we see a new Great Cleansing of One Piece, or will the plans of Imu be stopped before it has a chance of happening? I believe that the next Great Cleansing has already started, but there will be a few factors in whether or not it will be successful. First piece of business for the elders will be retrieving the Vegapunk satellite, York, as they will need her to produce more Mother Flame fuel for the weapon. I think it'll be necessary for this plan to continue, and that the Noah will come back into play at this time. Then there's the Revs, who declared war on the Celestial Dragons. They already currently have the leg up, as they've accomplished all of their goals at the Reverie, have caused the world to turn up on the world government, have seen the super weapon in action, and have Sabo as the new face, who the Gorosei think is dead right now. If the sea level continued to rise and rise, the only ones safe would be the celestial dragons who live atop the red line, and I guess the fishmen who live below it. But Imo is already aware and wary of some of the major players that will be coming for them. However, I believe that Luffy will ultimately stop this plan from happening as the new Joy Boy, and he and the new leaders like Sabo, Momo, and Vivi will succeed where the past Joy Boy failed.